All right, question number 3. We want to use the graph f of x equals log base 5 of x to graph f of x equals log base 5 of 1 divided by x. All right, so I'm going to use properties of logs just so we can kind of see the transformation here. All right, so we are going from f of x equals log base 5 of x, and we're trying to graph f of x equals log base 5 of 1 divided by x. All right, so log, general function, hugs the y-axis and curves up like so. That's the way log looks. This has a transformation. Using properties of exponents and some of those properties to rewrite it, I can rewrite this as subtraction of 2 logs, or I'm going to do the power. So there's 2 different ways you can do it, but I'm going to do it log base 5 of x to the negative 1 power. It has a property of you can take this exponent and write it as a multiple. So this will become negative log base 5 of x. And so the end result, if I compare this to this, it is just multiplied by a negative. This negative is going to flip it across the x-axis. So y value is going from negative to positive. So our graph is going to come down from the top like so, this dotted line. So all we have is a reflection across the x-axis. All right, so we're going to say log function. Click here. The base is 5. We're going to have an x-axis reflection. Okay, and we see that graph is coming down like so. That's the only thing that we have. All right, and that's it. All right, number 4, we want to determine the amplitude of the function y equals negative 2 cosine of x. All right, so with trig functions, you might want to review, but there's a times, let's just say sine b x minus c plus d. So these are all the different things that can happen. Whatever the multiple is out front, that is usually affecting the amplitude. It's going to be a stretch. So understood to be a 1, but if there's something else, then we look at that number. Since we have a 2, don't worry about the sign on the 2. We're just looking at the 2. This is going to have an amplitude of 2. Okay, so this new function is going to have an amplitude of 2. All right, and then we have a part 2. We're going to choose the graph. All right, so just generally speaking, if we graph cosine, say regular cosine of x. You can use technology to graph this, but I'm just going to sketch by hand. Cosine normally starts at a height of 1 and then curves down, curves up, and just kind of goes through this repeating cycle. Since our amplitude is negative 2, this is going to get flipped. So if this is 1, this positive 1, let's say 2 is up here. If you would flip and start down, and you would go to a depth of negative 2, negative 1, negative 2. That's if it was just a positive 2. So I'm showing positive 2 first so you can get a better idea. Here, go back here. So this graph is going to get stretched down. See how it's going higher and lower. If it was positive 2, because it's negative 2, this is going to get flipped. So you would start down here and then start curving up. And so this is actually what we would get for negative 2. This graph will get flipped. and it will start from the bottom and go up first and come down and go up. So I don't have different colors. It looks a mess. But we would start at a depth of 2. B is the only one that looks close to starting down and then going up. Make this really big, full screen. And it's hard to see the labeling, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So even though it looks like it's down 1 line, each line is counting by 2, because 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this is the graph that we want to default to. So B, nothing else really matches that shape.